now that we're done with that, let me kind of go into my Gravity Circuit impressions here. Because this is a game I played. This is Gravity Circuit. It's on the screen right now. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, JBB. So let me get into it. So this Gravity Circuit. Let me turn down the volume here. Holy shit. This is a game, like I said, in the style of Mega Man X, but it has a lot of modern proclivities that I personally don't like. I'm torn because I like the game. It's a fun game. I'm just not sure what direction the game wants to go in. Because you got like a guy, it's like quick dashes, you got this grappling hook, he looks like a ninja. So like in my opinion, like, I would like to speed through this game, but basically this game has like a ton of collectibles. That has a ton of like power ups. You go in here, like look at all these power ups you can have. It's like what, 4 by 5, 20 different power ups that, more than the game's like, if you sped run it or like, got decently, you could probably clear it in like 2 hours. So like, are you going to use, I've got more power ups than you're ever going to freaking use, and more collectibles than you'll probably use too. So it's a game like you can really kind of like get into. You have this paint system as well, where you can get like different paints that give your character different abilities, which is really bizarre. So you have these tons of upgrades, tons of things to collect here. You got this hub world. Again, Mega Man X never had a hub world, but you have this hub world here where you can go in. So it's not like you're going like from one action stage to the next action stage. You have all these things you can kind of collect and upgrade. So like when you're going through a stage in the game, like what are you supposed to do? Are you just supposed to like get through it as, survive and get through it as fast as you can? Or are you supposed to like look at every like nook and cranny, every wall to see if it's destructible, and then collect all the hostages, collect the sort of like 2 like power, the paint chips and the power-ups in the game? Is that what you're supposed to do, or no? Are you supposed to, I just don't know. Because like if you're collecting every power-up, like each stage is going to take infinitely longer than it has before. One of the other things that I really didn't like about it, and I kind of like showed it off in this video here, is the way hazards work in this game is, if you just fall into it, it's really awkward how it works, because rather than sort of when you fall on some of this stuff, rather than sort of dying, they kind of got rid of like instant death, like you'd have in like a Mega Man game. What you end up doing is like exploding, and you take damage here, and then they like warp you back in some places, like here, in the weirdest way. Like though you go all the way back, I'd almost rather die at that point than just warp me all the way back, so I have to jump over this stuff again. It's just really bizarre, and this game loves stage hazards. Like the devs that made this just absolutely love stage hazards, which is, I find in a way almost a little strange, because they added so many like different, like, ooh, you got all these special moves, and like it seems like combat focused, but I feel like the game's actually fairly light when it comes to like enemy counts versus just how much stage hazards you have to deal with in the game. So that part kind of confused me. Like, oh, look, another destructible wall where you got some more hidden collectibles. Very nice. So the stages are okay, but like I said, like the hazards are, like the design of it is really nice. I love the graphical style. Like this got like a little bit like these stages have like kind of like a monotone type of aesthetic, which is pretty neat. It's kind of like old school, very like I said, very monotone in its. I hate the grappling hook, by the way. This is just another example. I just absolutely hate the grappling hook. I didn't know why they added it into this game. It would have been like a perfect like 3-button type of game, but they had to add in a grappling hook. They had to like be different. I just hate the way it works. Like, you're supposed to grapple here, but like you have to like time it just right in order to swing over. It's it has a fairly short range because they wanted it you be able to like use it as a weapon too, because it's got to be a weapon and a thing to like hook onto the stage. Like Shadow of the Ninja Reborn had a grappling hook. It was quite fun because it was like just a weapon. It wasn't a movement mechanic as well, but they had to make some of that performs double duty because you want to swing on top of stages. Like every hazard, every single like puzzle they use to make this to use the grappling hook is just a complete pain in the ass, an absolute pain in the ass. I do not like it. I was dealing with some of it. I was like doing another run before, and like this is I guess like this. Here's me trying to do like sort of safe route. Like I am really bad with the grappling hook, and maybe that's why I hate it. But overall, I just do not like it. I just don't think it's a great. I think the game would have been a lot better off if I didn't have to grappling hook across this crap. And then again, like this is like the stage hazards, where it's like, oh, I'm not dead. In fact, it helps me. I could just fall into lava and die, and then I'm right back to where I before. It's a weird way stage hazard work in this game that I'm not a big fan of. Let me go to the other thing, boss fights. Let's see, I know of a boss fight in here. Boss fights, again, they're pretty fun. You have you get into it's like, oh, you got a little like talking sequence. That's so great. We gotta have a story. We have to have a story nowadays. Like everything has to be bigger. This is how you give your fans, your customers, make sure that they get their money's worth is by having a bunch of story here and talking. Because God, what would you hate? Would you just hate if you had to go in and just fight somebody? You just had a boss fight rather than this talking sequence. And look, like, does every indie game have to have this like sequence where you have a crowd and you have a fight in front of the crowd? The boss fights too also kind of annoy me because when you hit people enough, they get this I hate invincibility, but they get this invincibility frame. It's not like you hit it once, like some Mega Man enemies. You hit them and they have like invincibility for like half a second. It's like a full like 3 seconds before you can hit them again. If you damage them too quickly, and then of course they go to like a different phase, and then they get more invincibility, and then they each have their own signature move. Each enemy, robot master, if you will, has this signature move that they do every single fight. Where of course this one is only invincible for a little while, which it's mercifully short, but that is not the case for a lot of them. And if you take too long, they'll do it again. So like you're fighting for your life trying to kill these people, and like, oh, I'm invincible again. I guess you'll have to wait to kill me. Like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to do, is wait before I could attack these people again. But once you get enough upgrades, then that's the other thing with the upgrade system. I don't know how difficult this game is like supposed to be, because once you get a few of these upgrades, these bosses become painfully easy to beat as well. So it's almost like they give you a bunch of options. Like you have like a hard mode. You can have like rude enemies. You can you have to clear the game in one life, or actually there is a option. You have to clear the game in one life. There's an option to clear the stage in one life. So they give you a lot of different things to make it harder, but it's like, choose your own difficulty rather than, hey, here's a hard mode, or, here's how hard we want the game to be. Like once you add in these RPG mechanics, it just, I kind of would have liked, if the developer to actually like kind of lay out like, here's how hard I wanted the game to be, rather than like, put a bunch of upgrades and, it's as hard as you want to make it. To me, that's just a little bit weird, because if I'm judging it by how hard it is, once you get the upgrades, the game, at least on normal, is not that hard. I guess I could, go into hard mode. Hard mode, I guess it might be a little bit harder if you don't do that. I haven't tried to run where, right now I'm trying to do a run where it's just normal and I don't get any upgrades. And it's, decently difficult. It's pretty annoying, but it doesn't seem like overall that bad. Now, hard mode with upgrades, we'll see. It might be all right, but overall, like, it doesn't seem like super duper difficult. But overall, like, I that's the thing about this game that kind of gets me, is I really like the game. I think it's pretty good. So, in spite of like, oh, all the talking and blah blah blah, and like the modern stuff that I kind of wish was just, was more streamlined and quick. It's just you fighting. I mean, thankfully they have like a speed run mode that they add in you can be unlocked once you clear the game, which removes all the story sequences and stuff. You still have the hub, but you can like skip basically all the dialogue, which is awesome. And I kind of wish it was there to begin with, but it is what it is. It's just, again, I'm conflicted on it because I like the game. It's like, if you like a Mega Man X game, this is an easy recommend. Exactly. It reminds of Hollow Knight boss fights. Yeah. It's like, one thing is, like, it kind of reminds me of a Metroidvania. Like, it's like Mega Man isn't a Metroidvania. It's just like, it's Mega Man. It's like an action type of platformer. It's not meant to be a Metroidvania where, you spend a ton of time in it. It's supposed to be like a quick, concise, fights. Boom, 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 boom. Here's a stage, here's a stage, here's a stage, here's a stage. It's not like you're sort of wandering, meandering around and exploring. But it's like, it kind of like wants to be, because Metroidvanias and like, hub worlds and all this stuff, give you the sort of sense that you're getting more for your money. Like, if it was like too quick, it was like too concise, too much action, that I feel like it's almost like not financially feasible. So in a way, like, I really understand why they would go this route. So I don't want to like blame them for it, because I think it's smart in a sense, but at the same time, I don't like it. So like, I gotta deduct it from my own taste. I gotta deduct it because I don't want to deal with all of this talking. Like, I'm speeding this. This is double speed right now in the video. So I'm like, oh gosh, this is the amount of talking that you have to deal with. If, like, when you're playing for the first time, in between stages, they give you all this dialogue about why you're going to the stage. Like, you could just somehow work this in, like, the background of the stage, but no, they just want to give you a bunch of dialogue. It's a pain, so it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag again. But again, Gravity Circuit, I really like the game. I think it's fun. I think it's well done in terms of like how the game plays, with the exception of the hook shot. And I enjoyed it. Overall, I enjoyed it. I just, kind of annoyed by a lot of the extras that they decided to put in. But I mean, you can ignore it if you want to. It's just, playing the game for the first time, I had to at least, experience it to know, like, if it is decent. But that's it for the review. Like I said, good. It's a good game. It's a good game. There's a lot of things I don't like about it because of the modern stuff, but overall, I think they did a good job with it. It's like I said, if you like a Mega Man X, I think it's a pretty easy recommend, and it's not super expensive. I think it's under $20. So, Gravity Circuit, good time.